Good day, students. Welcome to our lesson this week in General Mathematics. In this session, we're going to discuss simple interest. Simple interest is a quick and easy method of calculating the interest charged on a loan. Simple interest is determined by multiplying the daily interest rate by the principal by the time that elapsed between payments. This type of interest usually applies to automobile loans or short-term loans, although some mortgages use this calculation method. Simple interest benefits consumers who pay their loans on time on each month. So the formula to solve for the simple interest is I equals PRT, where P is the principal amount, I is the amount of interest, R is the rate of interest, and it is expressed in decimal, T is time in terms of years. So usually in a given problem, the rate of interest is given in percent form. If you're going to use it in our formula, we should express the rate of interest in decimal. So another formula is A equals P plus I, or A equals P times 1 plus RT, where A is the accumulated value, final amount, future value, or maturity value. Sometimes it is also called accumulated amount. In some books, the representation of the future value is F. So here, we're using the capital letter A. So in this formula, A equals P plus I, it means that the accumulated value is equal to principal plus interest. So another formula for the accumulated value is A equals P times 1 plus RT. Example 1. Find the future value of 20,000 pesos invested at an annual simple interest rate of 5% for 3 years. How much is the interest? So before we solve the problem, let us analyze the given data first. So here, we will be finding or solving for the future value of 20,000 pesos invested at an annual simple interest rate of 5% for 3 years. So this problem is also asking for the interest. So it is asking for two things, future value and interest. What are the given? The 20,000 pesos, the 5%, and the 3 years. So for our solution, let us list the given first. So the principal amount is 20,000 pesos. Rate is 5% or 0.05 in decimal. So if you're going to express a percent to decimal, just divide the percent by 100. 5 divided by 100 is 0.05. The time is equal to 3 years. And we are going to solve for the interest and also for the future value. So our formula is I equals PRT. Interest equals principal times rate times time. So just substitute the values of P, R, and T. So now we have I equals 20,000 times 0.05 times 3. Multiplying that will result to 3,000. So the interest is 3,000 pesos. But the problem also asks for the future value. So remember our formula, A equals P plus I. So just substitute the obtained values of I and the value of P. So A equals 20,000 plus 3,000 and the sum is 23,000. So the future value is 23,000 pesos. We can also use another formula that was presented earlier. So still we will be using the same given. So let us make use of the formula A equals P times 1 plus RT. So substitute the values of P, R, and T. So 20,000 times 1 plus 0.05 times 3. So 0.05 times 3 is 0.15 plus 1, that's 1.15. And 20,000 times 1.15 is 23,000 pesos. So the future value is 23,000 pesos. So as you can see, we have obtained the same future value. To solve for the interest, the formula is I equals A minus P. The interest is equal to the final amount minus the principal amount. So just substitute the values of A and P. I equals 23,000 minus 20,000. And the difference is 3,000. So the interest is 3,000 pesos. In our first solution, we use the formula I equals PRT. We have obtained the interest first, and then next we obtained the future value. In this formula, we have obtained the future value first, and then we solve for the interest. So using both formulas will lead you to correct answer. So you may use the formula that you want to use. If you prepare the first formula, that's okay. If you prepare this method, it's also fine. Example number 2. Find the simple interest on a loan of 65,000 pesos if the loan is given at a rate of 2% and due is in 3 years. What is the final amount? So again, this problem is asking for the simple interest and for the final amount. The given are 65,000 pesos, 2%, and 3 years. So for your solution, list the given first. The principal amount is 65,000. Rate of interest is 2% or 0.02. The time is 3 years. So again, we will be solving for the interest and for the future value. So let us use the formula I equals PRT. So I equals 65,000 times 0.02 times 3, and that's 3,800. So the amount of interest is 3,900 pesos. To get the future value, use the formula I equals P plus I. A equals 65,000 plus 39,000. So the future value is 68,900 pesos. So here we have obtained the interest first, and then we solve for the future value. So using this formula, let us solve for the future value first. So just substitute the values of P, R, and T. Now we have A equals 65,000 times 1 plus 0.02 times 3. So that's 65,000 times 1.06. And the result is 68,900. So the future value is 68,900 pesos. And to solve for interest, I equals A minus P. I equals 68,900 minus 65,000. And that's 3,900. So the interest is 3,900 pesos. So as you can see, we have obtained the same answers. Example 3. Justin invested a certain amount at 10,000. I'm sorry. Justin invested a certain amount at 10% simple interest per year. After 2 years, the interest he received amounted to 3,000 pesos. How much did he invest? Okay, so let us analyze the given. So 10%, obviously the simple interest rate, 2 years time, and then we have here 3,000 pesos. The interest he received amounted to 3,000. So it means that this 3,000 is not the principal amount. This is the interest earned. And we are looking here for the amount invested. And the amount invested is the principal amount. So in this problem, let us list the given. The rate is 10% or 0.01 or 0.1 times 2 years. and the interest is 3,000 pesos. So in this problem, we will be solving for the principal amount. So remember, our formula is I equals PRT. So we can derive the formula to solve for P. I equals PRT, just divide both sides of the equation or the formula by RT. So we have P equals I over RT. So we can make use of this formula to solve for the principal amount. Okay, so just substitute the values of I, R, and T. So we have 3,000 over zero point 0.1 times 2. 0.1 times 2 is 0.2. And 3,000 divided by 0.2 is 15,000. So the principal amount is 15,000 pesos. So you can make use of a calculator to solve this. But if you want to solve this manually, that's also okay. Okay, so class, always analyze the problem. So it is not all the time that you will be solving for the interest or for the future value. Sometimes you will be solving for the principal amount or even the interest rate or the time. Okay. Example 4. How long will an amount of 50,000 pesos gain a simple interest of 10,000 at 4% per annum? So let us analyze the given. So this problem is asking for how long. And when you say how long, this asks for time. Okay? So we will be solving for time. Okay? Then the amount of 50,000, so that's the principal amount. The simple interest of 10,000, so that's the interest. And 4% is the rate. Let us list the given. So R is equal to 4% or 0.04. The principal amount is 50,000 pesos. The interest earned is 10,000. So we will be solving for time. Still, we will be using the same formula, I equals PRT. And using this, we can derive for the formula of T. So just divide both sides of the equation by PR. So now we're going to have T equals I over PR. So just substitute the values of I, P, and R. So we have T equals 10,000 divided by 50,000 times 0.04. 50,000 times 0.04 is 2,000. And 10,000 divided by 2,000 is 5. So the answer is 5 years. Okay. Example 5. At what simple interest rate will an amount of money gain 50% of the principal in 4 years? So you see 50% here, but it doesn't mean that it is the interest rate. Okay, so analyze the problem. So the question is at what simple interest rate? So here we will be solving for the interest. So meaning to say we will be solving for R. Okay, so we will derive another formula. So an amount of money gain 50% of the principal. So the interest is 50% of principal, and it will be earned in 4 years. So let us list our given. T equals 4 years. The interest is equal to 0.05p because 50% of the interest. So of the principal amount. So 50% of principal amount, 50% times p is when you express 50% in decimal, that's 0.5. So that's 0.5p. So I equals 0.5p. So let's solve for R. We will be still using the same formula. I equals PRT. To solve for R, divide both sides of the formula by PT. So you're going to have R equals I over PT. Just substitute the values of I, P, and T. So I is equal to 0.5p. P is of course, P, principal, and then 4. Okay, so R equals 0.5 P over P times 4. So we are going to cancel P. That's why we will only have here zero point 0.5 divided by 4. And zero point 0.5 divided by 4 is 0.125. When you express it into percent, that's 12.5%. So the simple interest rate is 12.5%. Okay. Another example. So example 6, how much money should you deposit in a bank so that it will accumulate to 100,000 pesos at 1% simple annual interest for 10 years? So analyze the problem. Uh, there's deposit there, 100,000, 1%, 10 years. So 10 years, obviously the time, 1%, simple annual interest, so that's the interest rate. Accumulate to 100,000. Accumulate. So meaning to say that 100,000 pesos is the final amount. So here, how much money should you deposit? So we will be looking or solving for the principal amount. So time is 10 years, A is 100,000, R is 1% or 0.01. Let's solve for P. So here, we are going to use the formula A equals P times 1R plus T. Why? Because this is the formula that has A, R, and T already. So since we will be solving for P, divide both sides of the formula by 1 plus RT. So you're going to have P equals A over 1 plus RT. And that's the formula to solve for the principal amount. Okay? So substitute the values of A, R, and T. You're going to have P equals 100,000 divided by 1 plus 0.01 times 10. So 0.01 times 10 is 0.1 plus 1, that's 1.1. And 100,000 divided by 1.1 is 90,909.09. So the principal amount is 90,909.09 pesos. Okay. Example 7. How long will an amount of money be tripled at a simple interest rate of 10% per annum? So we're asking for how long, so we will be solving for the time here. Will amount of money be tripled at a simple interest rate of 10% per annum? Okay, so that's the R. List the given. R is equal to 10% or 0.1. A is equal to 3P because it says there that the final amount or the accumulated value will be tripled. The tripled or thrice the principal amount. So thrice the principal amount is 3P. So A is equal to 3P. So let's solve for time. Use this formula. So deriving the formula, you'll be arriving at T equals A minus P all over PR. So T is equal to A is 3P, so minus P over P times 0.0.1. Okay, so here we're going to have 2 over 0.1. Why? Because 3P minus P is 2P and P will be cancelled. That's why 2 and 0.1 will remain. So now we have T equals 2 divided by 0.1. So T is equal to 20 years. Okay, so that's how long it will take 20 years for the principal amount to be tripled. Okay, now it's your turn. Answer these practice exercises. Number 1, Miles borrowed 25,000 pesos at 10% annual simple interest rate, how much should she pay after 3 years and 6 months? So here, for number 1, you'll be solving for the final amount. Number 2, at what simple interest rate per annum will 20,000 pesos accumulate to 25,000 in 3 years? So obviously, that's asking for the rate. Number 3, if Lance deposit 5,500 pesos in a bank at an annual simple interest rate of 5%, how much money will he have after 12 years? How much money will he have? So after 12 years, so obviously it's solving it, or it's looking for the future value. Number 4, how much should you invest at 6% annual interest rate to obtain a simple interest of 72,000 in 3 years? So how much should you invest? So it's asking for investment, so that's the principal amount. Okay, for the following problems, I will be not giving you clues anymore, so it's up to you. Number 5, when invested at an annual interest rate of 7%, the amount earned is 11,200 pesos simple interest in 2 years. How much money was originally invested? Number 6, how long will a principal earn an interest equal to half of it at 5% simple interest? Number 7, if an entrepreneur applies for a loan amounting to 500,000 pesos in a bank, the simple interest is 157,500 pesos for 3 years. What interest rate is being charged? And for number 8, how much money will you have after 4 years and 3 months if you deposited 10,000 in the bank that pays 0.5% simple interest? Number 9, how long will 1 million pesos earn a simple interest of 100,000 pesos at 1% per annum? And lastly, number 10, how much should you invest at the simple interest rate of 7.5% in order to have 300,000 pesos in 2 years? Okay, so best of luck in solving those problems. Always remember, class, do mathematics to learn mathematics. Practice, improve, and stay curious. Keep safe, stay healthy, and God bless everyone. See you next week for our next topic.